Have you ever looked at your child during a meltdown and thought, why are they overreacting? Why is this such a big deal? Why are they being so difficult? Let's just pause for a second. What if they're not overreacting? What if the nervous system is overwhelmed? Today I want to talk about something that can completely change the way you see your child's behavior. Nervous system overload. Because when we understand the nervous system, we stop parenting from frustration and we start parenting from understanding. Children are not miniature dolls. Their brains are still developing. The emotional regulation systems are still wiring. The nervous systems are immature, which means when they feel overwhelmed, their body reacts before their thinking brain has a chance to step in. When a child is overstimulated, tired, hungry, angry, embarrassed, criticized, or even feeling disconnected, the nervous system can shift into survival mode. And when survival mode activates, we see four possible responses: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And this is not manipulation, it's neurobiology. Let's slow this down and understand what's really happening in the brain. When the brain detects a threat, and remember, threat doesn't always mean danger, the amygdala activates. The amygdala's job is to scan for safety. If it senses any threat or danger, it sends a signal to your body, prepare to survive. And at that moment, stress hormones increases, cortisol and adrenaline. Heart rate rises, breathing changes, muscle tense. And the thinking part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, goes offline or less active. Dr. Dan Siegel described this as flipping your lid. The upstairs brain, logic, reasoning, and empathy, disconnects from the downstairs brain, emotions and survival. And when that happens, logic doesn't work, lectures don't work, threats don't work, because we are trying to reason with a brain that is temporarily offline. Let me give you some real life examples. Imagine you are at the supermarket. It's bright, it's noisy, it's big. Your child is very tired. Maybe they had a long day at school, daycare, and they ask for something. What do they ask? Candy. And you say no. And suddenly meltdown, crying, screaming, throwing themselves on the floor. From the outside, it looks like overreaction. But from a nervous system perspective, it's overload. The lights, the sounds, the disappointment, and the hunger, it all accumulates. And the nervous system says, this is too much, this is enough. And survival mode activates. Or imagine homework time. We all know they love homework, right? Your child is refusing, arguing, and say things like, I don't care. But for parents, it looks like defiance. But underneath, it might be fear of failure, overwhelm, shame. And instead of saying, I'm scared, I'm not good enough, the nervous system shifts into fight or flight or even freeze. Freeze is the one we misunderstand the most. Freeze can look like complete silence, staring, shrugging, saying things like, I don't know, I don't care. But freeze is not rudeness, it is shut down. It's a nervous system protecting the child from emotional overwhelm. There's something very important to understand here. Children are wired for attachment. Connection equals safety, disconnection equals threat. So when a child feels criticized, unseen, unheard, or rejected, or even emotionally disconnected, the nervous system can react as if their safety is at risk. Not because you are unsafe, but because their brain interprets relational disconnection as danger. And this is exactly why correction during dysregulation often escalates behavior, because the child is already in survival mode. So the question shifts. Instead of asking, how do I stop this behavior? We ask, what is this behavior telling me about my child's internal state? That question changes everything, because dysregulation requires regulation, not punishment. So what do we actually do during a nervous system overload? Step number one, regulate yourself first. Your nervous system speaks louder than your words. If your voice rises, if your breathing quickens, or if your body becomes tense, your child's nervous system will detect that. Children co-regulate through us, through parents. They borrow our calm or they borrow our chaos. So before you say anything, slow your breathing, relax your shoulders, lower your tone. Even if you don't feel calm, act calm because your steadiness becomes their anchor. Step number 2, reduce input. When a nervous system is overloaded, adding more stimulation makes it worse. Lower the lights if you can. Reduce noise. Move to a quieter space. Offer water. And step number 3, use fewer words. When a child is dysregulated, long explanations overwhelm them further. Short phrases are more powerful. I'm here. You're safe. I can see this is really hard. That's enough. Safety first, teaching later. And this brings us to something critical. The moment of dysregulation is not a teaching moment. I'll say that one more time. The moment of dysregulation is not a teaching moment. When the nervous system is calm, that is when we reflect. That is when we problem solve. That is when we teach skills. Connection first, correction later. Always. There's a beautiful concept also described by Dr. Dan Siegel. Name it to tame it. When we help children name their emotions, we help integrate their brain. You felt really frustrated. You were disappointed. You felt embarrassed. Naming emotions moves activity from the emotional brain towards the thinking brain. Language builds regulation, and over time, children internalize this. They begin to recognize feelings earlier. They begin to regulate faster. And this is how emotional resilience develops. If there is one thing I want to take from this entire parenting and emotion series, it is this. Your child is not giving you a hard time. They are having a hard time. Let me say this one more time. Your child is not giving you a hard time. They are having a hard time. When we see behavior through the nervous system lens, through the nervous system perspective, we stop personalizing it. We stop shaming it. We stop escalating it. And we start responding with wisdom, love, and care. And that builds emotional strength for life. This video concludes our parenting and emotions mini series, and I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who stayed with me. In the next phase of Nirvana counseling practice, we are going to dig more deeper. We are going to begin exploring anxiety, depression, trauma, emotional patterns, and mental health in both children and adults, because regulation in childhood becomes mental health in adulthood. If this series has helped you see your child differently, please like, share, and subscribe to Nirvana Counseling Practice, and tell me in the comments below, have you ever noticed your child calm down simply because you stayed calm? I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.